There is this misconception that people who like literature are always left-leaning. So today we're going to see if that's true or not. I'm going to take the political compass test. Okay guys, well, let's go ahead and start the political compass test. Before taking the test, please note that this isn't a survey and these aren't questions, they're proposition. I got it. Okay, what do we got here? If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. So I know I'm not supposed to question the premise of the question, but if you serve the interest of a corporation, you should then inadvertently serve the interest of humanity. That's Milton Friedman. I think I agree with Milton Friedman, but there's no neutral response here. So I'm gonna say humanity is maybe a little bit more important than transnational corporations, but they go hand in hand. So I'm going to say agree. I would always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Well, no, because if my country was wrong, then I wouldn't support it. I'm gonna say disagree. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. I mean, I'm proud of America because my parents came here from the Soviet Union, and America's a far superior country to the Soviet Union and to Russia. Of course, that has nothing to do with my country of birth. I happen to be born in a great country. I guess it's foolish to be proud of your country just because you were born there. You should be proud of your country if your country is good. So we're gonna say agree. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I disagree. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I mean, not necessarily. Could just all be terrible. So we're gonna say disagree. Military action that defies international law is somewhat times justified. Oh, did someone write this after October 7th? Is that what they're going for here? I'm gonna say disagree. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Well, there's always been a fusion of information and entertainment. Your entertainment provides you with information. I'm gonna say disagree because I don't think that's a now phenomenon. I think it's impossible to separate the two. All right, so let's go on to the next page here. Now the economy, okay. Here we go. Here's where I'm going to go all the way to the right. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. Yeah, I'm gonna say agree to that one. I think your socioeconomic class does define a lot of how you go about the world. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Yes, agree. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Strongly disagree. We don't like regulations in free market capitalism. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. No, Karl Marx, that is a terrible idea. Strongly disagree. The freer the market, the freer the people. Strongly agree. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. Well, you can also just get water from your sink. So I think that's fine. You're choosing to buy the bottled water. I guess you have to buy a filter in some places, but in New York, there's really good drinking water, so you can just get it from your sink. So if there's a market for people who want to buy water bottles as a branded product, that's fine. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. What kind of questions are these? Strongly disagree. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Who wrote these questions? Many personal fortunes are made by people who contribute a lot to society. I disagree with the premise of the question because I don't think that most people who make a lot of money manipulate money. So they're putting me into a trap here. I think that people who do manipulate money, that is regrettable, but I don't think that most people do that. I mean, I guess I will say agree. If you don't contribute anything to society, then yes, you should not be making a fortune, but that's not how most fortunes are made. It's very much in the minority. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. No, we're gonna go disagree. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Yes, we cited Milton Friedman earlier. Strongly agree. The rich are too highly taxed. How rich are we talking here? Are we talking like Elon Musk rich, or are we talking like 300K rich? I'm going to agree. Generally, high taxes are bad. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. I guess my one exception with capitalism is medicine. I disagree with that. I'm gonna disagree with that, even though I have a lot of qualms with privatized healthcare. I think it's probably the best system that we have. It's better than socialized healthcare. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Once again, it really depends on to what extent you are misleading the public. If you make a claim and it's not objectively true and it hurts someone, then sure. But if you say that your product is a bouncy ball that doesn't bounce very well, then whatever. I mean, I'm gonna disagree. Governments shouldn't get involved. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. I guess we want antitrust. Fine. Okay, social values. All right, maybe now I will be a little bit more left than my right-wing economic policies. Abortion, when a woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. I disagree. I have moral qualms about abortion, but the legality of it should be legal. That is the best system. All authority should be questioned. Yeah, question your authority. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Not always. I'm gonna go disagree here. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial base. This one's really hard because I like theaters and museums, but I don't know if it's the taxpayers' responsibility to prop them up. Like, I don't want to prop up the Museum of Lesbian Literature. I'm gonna go disagree. Oh no, it should not be expected. I agree, yes. Okay, schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Let's disagree. It's good to go to school. Go to school, kids. It's important. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. What does that mean? I'm gonna disagree on that one. I mean, I don't know, I come from an immigrant family. We're not keeping to our own kind. I'm gonna disagree. Good parents have to spank their children. I'm gonna go disagree. You probably have to punish your children, but not spank them necessarily. It is natural for children to keep secrets from their parents. Yeah, strongly agree. What kind of question is that? Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Yeah, I'm gonna agree there. Marijuana is bad, but should send people to jail for it. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Oh, I disagree with that one. My schooling certainly did not help me find a job. My job was completely independent of my English literature degree. Although, should do whatever you want at school. School is for knowledge. Jobs are separate. You can figure that out later. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Strongly disagree. What? This is not Nazi Germany. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. I think discipline for kids is more important than we're making it out to be now. I don't think it's the most important thing, but I'm gonna say agree because once again, there's no neutral one. There should be a neutral one, but whatever. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures. I'm gonna go disagree, because I do think that there is value to civilization and there is a such thing as the Hobbesian state of nature of savagery. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Strongly agree. When you are troubled, it is better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Yeah, keeping busy is good. Strongly agree. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. Strongly disagree. My personal experience will contest that. What's good for the most successful corporation is ultimately good for all of us. Usually, yes, not always. I don't like how strong these questions are. I'm gonna say agree. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should be receiving public funding. Agree. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counter-terrorism. No, I'm gonna disagree. Counter-terrorism is good, especially now. Significant advantage of a one-party state is it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in democratic political system. That is an advantage. That doesn't mean that a one-party state is desirable. I don't like how these questions are phrased. I'm gonna say agree. Fine. Although the election age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. No, we should all be worried, but wrongdoers should be more worried. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. I don't know how I feel about the death penalty, honestly. I'm gonna disagree on that one. Just disagree, not strongly disagree. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and below to be commanded. Yeah. Otherwise it devolves into anarchy. We don't want that. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. I'm gonna disagree because art doesn't have to be representational, but most abstract art today is not art, but Picasso is art. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Yeah, I'm gonna agree. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer or the artist. What do you think I'm gonna say to that one? Strongly disagree. Although I'm both. So, you know, mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Strongly disagree. Almost all politicians promise economic growth, but we should heed the warnings of climate science that growth is detrimental to our efforts to curb global warming. Yeah, I'm gonna say agree. I guess we should probably listen to global warming, but once again, not maybe to the extent that we should be paranoid about it. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Yes, I do very strongly agree with that. You can disagree with your establishment, but you must make peace with it in order to have a normal life. Okay, religion. All right, okay, now I'm gonna go left. Okay, astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Okay, I'm gonna agree with that. That's that's more of an economic question, I would say. Some people are naturally unlucky. Yeah, but I don't think that has anything to do with like a divine entity. Yeah, I'll agree with that one. It's important that my child's school instills religious values. Disagree. Okay, that's gonna put me more left. Okay, sex. Oh. I'm gonna be all over the place for this one. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. I'm gonna say disagree for this one. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Once again, I think there's a very big difference between legality and morality. I think probably pornography should be legal. That doesn't mean that you should consume it, or it is a good idea for you to consume it. So I'm gonna say yes. I agree, though, with some caveats here. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Yes, I completely agree with that. No one can feel naturally homosexual. I'm gonna disagree with that. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one. But I have to agree with that one. Let's see where you stand. Okay, so, I'm right-wing libertarian, fine. Okay, there's no surprises here, absolutely no surprises. Yeah, that's about right, that looks about right. I have more conservative values mostly on the economy. I think the economy really pushed me to the right here. So, what have we learned today? Not everyone who reads a lot of literature is necessarily left-leaning. So, the reason that people who read literature are left-leaning is because they have no idea how the economy works. So they're gonna answer all of the like Karl Marx socialism questions and they're gonna be far to the left. Once you have a job, you will be pushed to the right. And the problem is that most people who have time to sit around and read books all day don't have a job. So I'm going to say that explains the discrepancy here and, you know, get a job. Don't forget to subscribe if any of that resonated with you and follow along on my writing journey if you'd like to learn more about our culture and classic literature, academia and publishing and the humanities at large.